Hello friends, welcome to Diploma Geeks. In this video, let us discuss the fuels concept part 2. As we seen before, we discussed the basic concepts of the fuel chapter, which is includes the calorific value and the heat units and many different topics we discussed in the previous concept of the fuels part 1. So let us see remaining concepts of the fuels concept, which includes the different types of fuels that are solid fuels and gaseous fuels. As we start with the solid fuels, basically the solid fuels are those fuels which commonly includes that which exist in the state of solid. Those are called as the solid fuels, which includes the wood, charcoal, and it also includes peat. This all are comes under the category of solid fuels. As if we see that the formation of these different types of solid fuels, let us see different types of formation of solid fuels. Let us start with the coal. If you see that coal is mainly composed of carbon and hydrocarbons. Since the coal is a solid fuel, it is mainly composed of carbon and hydrocarbon, which contains energy, and that energy that can be released through the combustion. So the energy which is presented in the coal will be released by means of combustion. So we say that coal is a combination of carbon and hydrogen, in which if we look at the another type of solid fuel, that is wood, which has, so wood is the transformation of wood. So how we say that coal is a solid fuel which consists of carbon and hydrocarbon. The wood which get transforms, so it get transforms, the wood get transforms into coal, and this transformation of wood into coal is called as coalification. So here we can understand that the transformation of wood into coal is called as coalification, and we need to know that the formation of coal that takes place only when the plant matter that transforms from moist and low carbon peat to coal. So since the wood contains of moist and low carbon peat, and it get transforms into coal, which is an energy and carbon dense black or brownish black sedimentary rock. So the wood will be exist in the format of black or brownish black. So it exists as a sedimentary rock, and this rock is formed due to decomposition of a plant matter, which transforms with from moist and low carbon peat to coal. So that is called as the sedimentary rock, which is also called as a coal. So we need to know that there are different ways to transform this coal. That means there are different theories that explain the formation of coal. These theories are, so theories that explains formation of coal. As if we see that there are basically two different types of theories that explains the formation of coal, that includes inside theory, or there is another theory that is drift theory, in which this inside theory is also called as autochthonous, or the drift theory is also called as transportation theory. Now let us see what is meant by the theories of formation of coal, which is the inside theory and drift theory. The inside theory is that it is the formation of a coal that takes place in vegetation. So in this theory, the formation of coal takes place in vegetation. Vegetation in the sense, wherever the plants and trees were present, that place itself, the formation of coal takes place. And whereas if we look at the drift theory in the sense, trees were transported, the trees which we consider to form the coal, those trees were transported from one place to another place, with soil. So these trees will transported from one place to another place, and after these plants get transformed into coal with creating high temperature. So as we transform the plants from one place to another place, high temperature it needs high temperature and pressure to transform into coal. So this high temperature and pressure we will generate this high temperature and pressure. So by this high temperature and pressure, the trees which we were transferred will get converted into coal, and it get deposited into the absence of by the absence of O2. So this happens by the absence of O2 and in the presence of in the presence of anaerobic bacteria. So we can understand that the drift the drift transformation of a coal will happens in the absence of oxygen, that is in the absence of O2, and in the presence of anaerobic bacteria. So we can say that this anaerobic bacteria is that does not require oxygen for growth. And during this decomposition, if we consider the drift theory, during this decomposition, the carbon dioxide and methane gases methane gases will be generated. So these are the gases that will be generated during the drift transportation of the coal. So these are the two different theories that explain the formation of coal. Now let us see what are the four different stages of formation of coal. And if we observe the four stages of formation of coal, that includes that, as we seen before, the what is mean by coalification. So that in the sense, it is a process of transformation of wood into coal is called as the coalification. And basically this coalification is used to removal of water. So it removes water from the wood, and it also removes the moisture and CO2, carbon dioxide, and also it also removes the reduction in oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. But we need to know one thing, that only thing is that the in the process of qualification, the calorific value and the temper and the hardness, these both things will be increased in the process of qualification. So according to this qualification, the coal can be classified into four different stages. That includes the four stages includes formation of first peat, and the next one is lignite, and the another one is bituminous coal, and the last stage is anthracite, in which this peat will have low rank since it is formed first, so it has low rank, and the anthracite, which is formed at the last, will have high rank. As if we observe that basically this stage depends on condition to which the plants remains are subjected to pressure, at what pressure and what temperature they were subjected after they were buried. So that determines the stages of four different types of fuels. Now we can understand that greater the so as greater greater the pressure, and temperature, there will be high rank of coal. The high rank of coal in the sense there will be high calorific value. So we need to know that what, as we seen, there is four different types of stages. Let us see what are the four different types of stages characters. So every stage, which is peat, lignite, and bituminous coal and anthracite, will have different types of stages in the formation of four different types of coals. Let us see what are those characters. If we observe the characters of each individual coal separately, we classify the coals into four different types, that is peat, lignite, and bituminous coal and anthracite. As we start with the peat, so peat has highly natural moisture So peat will have high natural moisture content, and it will have high compressibility. It will have high compressibility, and it also have water holding capacity will be more in case of peat, and it will also have, it consists of, so since the peat is a combination of composition, so it consists, if you observe that peat will consist of carbon 55% and hydrogen 6% and nitrogen 2%, and it also consists of ash which is 3%. This is the combination of, which is the composition of the peat. And if you observe that the calorific value of the peat will be nearly 4000 to 5000 kilocalorie per kg. As we seen before, the value of the calorific value will be measured in terms of kilocalorie per kg. So the calorific value of peat will be 4000 to 5000 kilocalorie per kg. And if you observe next thing, that is the second stage of the formation of coal, that is lignite, it will have brown color. So it is called as a brown coal. So lignite is called as a brown coal, which is also called as a sedimentary rock. Why this we called this as a sedimentary rock? In the sense, the sedimentary rock means it is compressed with peat, so which also called as a sedimentary rock. So it is formed from the compressed peat, so it is all called as a sedimentary rock. Now let us see what is the lignite consist of. So lignite basically consists of, so it consists carbon 65% and ash 10%, and it includes oxygen 20%, and remaining it consists hydrogen. So these are the composition of the lignite. Now if we look at the calorific value, the calorific value of the lignite will includes nearly 65,000 to 6,500 to, it will be about 7,000 kilocalorie per kg. So this will be the calorific value of lignite. And if you observe the uses of lignite will be used in fertilizers, steam, electrical power generation. In those cases, the lignite can be used. And the next stage of the formation of coal includes bituminous coal. So bituminous coal is, so it basically contains tar-like substance. So it consists tar-like substance which are called as bitumen. Bitumen, or we can also call it as asphalt. So this is a substance which consists in bituminous coal, that is the tar-like substance which is bitumen or asphalt. And if we observe the uses, it is used to produce coal and coal gas and road construction. In those cases it will be used because it has a tar-like structure. And if we observe that the bituminous coal can be of three different forms, that is bituminous and subbituminous, and there will be another stage, that is semi-bituminous. In these three stages, what happens is, so in the bituminous coal, it will be consist of 70 to 90% of carbon in stage of bituminous coal, where it will have a calorific value of nearly 8,000 to 8,500 will have calorific value. And if we see that the subbituminous coal will have 42 to 52% of carbon, and it will have a calorific value of nearly 5,500 kilocalorie. It means 5,000 to 5,500 kilocalorie it will have calorific value. And then the next stage is semi-bituminous coal, that has 80 to 90% of carbon. 80 to 90% of carbon it consists, and it will have a calorific value nearly 7,000 to 8,000 kilocalorie. It will have the calorific value. So this is how the bituminous coal will be classified into four different stages. And let us see the last stage of the formation of coal, that is the formation of anthracite. Anthracite is, in the sense, it is the highest, since we seen before, it has high rank coal. It is the highest, it is high rank coal. Anthracite is the high rank coal which consists of carbon. So it mostly consists of carbon which is about 90%. And this about 90% of carbon is fixed. So it will definitely consist of about 90% of carbon in the case of anthracite. And if we observe the calorific value of anthracite, it will have a calorific value about 2000 24,000 kilojoule per kg, or we can also say that 8,600 kilocalorie per kg. The anthracite will have the calorific value. So this is the formation of a coal in 4 different stages. Now let us see the different types of gaseous fuels. Now, as if we look at the different types of gaseous fuels, the gaseous fuels include that natural gas, coal gas, and producer gas, and water gas, and it also includes the biogas and acetylene gas. Now let us look at the formation of different types of gases that includes the natural gas, coal gas. So let us start with the natural gas. The natural gas, in the sense, it is basically occurring. The natural gas is occurring because of the as hydrogen gas, hydrocarbon gas. So natural gas will basically occur in the form of hydrocarbon gas, which consists of it basically consists of methane and alkanes, and it also includes the carbon dioxide and nitrogen. It also includes hydrogen sulfide or helium. So these are the things that is composition of natural gas will consist of methane, alkanes, and carbon dioxide and nitrogen, and hydrogen sulfide or helium. So if you look at the calorific value of the natural gas, the natural gas will have a calorific value of about 12,000 to 13,500 kilocalories per meter cube. Since, as if we seen before, the unit of solid fuels will be calorific value units are in the terms of kilocalorie per kg, and if you look at in the case of gaseous fuels, it has a unit of kilocalorie per meter cube, since it is a gas, and it is mainly consist of, since if we look at that, it consists of basically methane, and this methane will be consist in terms of 70 to 80% in case of the natural gas, and this natural gas is basically used in the case of cooking, electricity generation, and fertilizers, and in the case of pharmacy, and also it can be used in fabrics, and it can also be used in manufacturing of chemicals like ammonia. So the natural gas can be used in the production of ammonia and methanol and butane, ethane. It can also be used in production of propane and acetic acid. So these are the different ways we can use the natural gas for production of ammonia and methanol, butane and ethane and propane and acetic acid. And if you look at the coal gas, the coal gas is basically a mixture of hydrogen, methane, and it also includes that carbon monoxide. So these are the different types of mixture that exist in the coal gas, and this coal gas can be used in lighting, heating, and it also used as a illuminant, and this coal gas has a calorific value, and we need to know that the coal gas cannot be used for cooking. This will have a calorific value of about 4,900 kilocalorie per meter cube, and it is prepared by heating of coal in the absence of air. The coal gas is prepared by heating of coal in the absence of air, and this coal gas can be used in the process of metallurgical process. The coal gas can be used in the process of metallurgical operations. Now, next, if we look at the producer gas, the producer gas is basically it is a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. The producer gas is basically a mixture of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide, and it also includes nitrogen. So this is how the producer gas will be formed, and basically it is an industrial fuel for iron and steel production. The producer gas will be used for production of iron and steel. The producer gas can be used in the blast furnace, and this can also be used in gas turbines. The producer gas can be also used in the gas turbines. If you look at the calorific value of the producer gas, the calorific value of producer gas will be nearly around 1300 kilocalorie per meter cube. So since producer gas is a gas, it will have a calorific value of 1300 kilocalorie per meter cube, and due to the presence of carbon monoxide, it is used in metallurgical process. As if we seen that the producer gas can be used in metallurgical process due to the presence of carbon monoxide. Now let us see few more different types of gaseous fuels. Now if we observe the few more types of the gaseous fuel, that include the water gas, biogas, and acetylene gas. So the water gas, in the sense, it is also called as a blue gas. The water gas also called as a blue gas, which has the basic difference between if we observe that the basic difference, the heat of combustion of water gas, the water gas heat capacity is less than that of the coal gas. The basic difference is between this is it will have a heat combustion of water gas will be less than that of coal gas. And if we observe that the water gas is basically it is consist of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. The water gas is a combination of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. It is also includes a little amount of carbon dioxide. It also includes little amount of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. So this water gas, which has a composition, if we observe the composition of water gas, it will consist nearly around carbon monoxide of 40%, and carbon monoxide is 40%, and hydrogen is nearly 16%, and it includes nitrogen 4%. This is the composition of water gases, which has a calorific value of the water gas will be nearly around 2800 kilocalorie per meter cube. So this is the detailed information of the water gas. And if we look at the biogas is a gas that will be produced by decomposition of biological matter. So by the decomposition of biological matter, the biogas will be produced with the presence of produced in the presence of anaerobic bacteria. So this biogas will be produced in the presence of anaerobic bacteria. As if we observe that the best example for the biogas will be gobar gas, which is an example for the biogas. The gobar gas is the example of the biogas, that is it will be formed by the decomposition of cattle dung. So by the decomposition of cattle dung, the biogas will be formed. Now if we observe that the biogas will basically consist of as we observed before, it consists of methane, which is nearly around 55%, and it consists carbon dioxide, which is 35%. It also includes hydrogen, which is 7.4%. So these are the different elements that includes in the formation of biogas, that is methane and carbon dioxide and hydrogen. And it also includes some amount of trace of H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide. It also includes. This is the details of biogas. And if we look at the calorific value of biogas, the biogas will have a calorific value of around 4713 kilocalorie per meter cube. So this is the calorific value of the biogas. And if you look at the last gas, that is the acetylene gas. The acetylene gas is prepared by the action of water on calcium carbide. So the action of water on calcium carbide, the acetylene gas will be produced. If we represent this as a equation, as a reaction equation, it will be CaC2 and 2H2O, that is the water molecule. This relation represents the formation of a acetylene gas. That in the sense, in the equation, the CaC2 is calcium carbide, and 2H2 is the dihydrogen monoxide. So by the combination of calcium carbide and dihydrogen monoxide will result in the formation of acetylene gas. So we can observe that the calorific value of acetylene gas will be around 6000 kilocalorie per meter cube. And this acetylene gas can be used in the production of ethyl chloride. This can be used in the production of ethyl chloride and ethyl alcohol. So if we remember these types of production which from which gas which can be created, we can get a good idea in the terms of ESET. So the acetylene gas can be used to produce ethyl chloride and ethyl alcohol, and it also used for brazing, cutting, and spot heating and hardening, and thermal spraying. In terms of mechanical, so it can be used in different ways. So these are the different types of gaseous fuels which includes in the concept of fuel chapter. So by this we can wind up the section of fuel chapter. In the next video, let us discuss one more important chapter. So up to then, stay tuned for more latest informational videos. Subscribe to Diploma Geeks. Thank you.